Hey everybody, if anybody's on the stream, I just want to say hello. Can somebody type in the chat if you can hear me clearly? I just want to start out with a little housekeeping just to make sure everybody can hear me. Can someone tap yes that they can hear me? Type that in the chat, please. I'm really back holding on this one. Do I have any hope? Yep, you sure do. Can hear it clearly. Great, excellent. Hey, Fraser. Yeah, so look what's happening after hours. I've been through plenty of these situations, and hopefully you can see the chart. I have the chart up. I'm sharing the chart with everyone. Do you see the green candles? What's happening right now? So this is what we're looking for today. Is if you look at the chart and you look at what's happened with the chart now, this is this black descending trend line is a trend line from the top of $1.49, which was the pre-market high of the day. That was like, everybody was like, oh, it's gonna explode. It was at 149, right? So that's where that trend line is coming from. As you can see, this candle, these are 5-minute candles. So 5-10 minutes ago, that candle went up and popped into the trend line, almost broke through the trend line. And now it is trading at around 71 cents. And remember, we were down as low as 65 cents after hours. These are 5-minute candles. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85. 85 minutes ago. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, great. I want to see if, and it says that there's 13 people here. So I guess there's other people here. I just can't see you guys in the chat. If so, just welcome. So listen, I'm usually an IXHL guy, but today I wanted to jump on here. And as you can see on my chart that I'm sharing with you, my position is 3,000 shares at 79 cents a share. It didn't start that way. Started up at 94 cents. I thought I was catching the bottom earlier today. And of course, these, I'm going to switch around the charts a little bit. Hey, Hamim. Hey, Fraser. Hey, guys, thanks for joining. Let's talk. Hey, the more you guys, more questions we have or things you want to say in the chat, the better, because like I said, I'm new to the stock, but I do know about trading. And I've traded GNS before. I've traded it over and over and over again for the last 2 years. And I stopped trading it about in May. I was like, I'm over this. I'm not making any money on this. I'm sick and tired of this thing getting shorted. So I haven't traded it. Today I jumped in at 94 cents. I was like, okay, let me buy 1,000 shares. That didn't work. So when it went down, I bought another 1,000 at 85, and then bought another 1,000 at 70, as you can see. So now I have 3,000 shares at 79 cents. And here's the positives for anyone who's listening. It looks like there's 13 people on here. The positives is that, as you can see all day long, you have to be thinking to yourself, okay, is this a big scam and the company dumping millions of shares into this, trending lawsuit? They're suing Citadel Securities. Are they just, and did the company or the CEO know exactly what he was doing, release all this news about a lawsuit, only to just dump millions of shares into the stock and take all the cash off the table? That's one opinion. That you have to think that way, right? Or is it just, Citadel and Kenny? I like to call him Kenny, #Kenny. Or is it Kenny, and it most likely is Kenny, so one of the things I've been able to do over the past few years is identify kind of, I'm going to move the chart around a little bit. I've been able to learn how to identify waterfalls and dilution and just selling pressure. And today, in my opinion, this all the way from, I mean, it looks pretty horrendous, right? If you look at the chart, look, let's get this over here. And this is the 5 minute. Let me move it to the 15 minute to make it a little less noisier. So this is the day chart today. This is for a few days. It's not the day chart. This is 15-minute chart. Let's get back. So, okay. So here's your pre-market high of 149. There's a black trend line coming down. And so the next touch was down here somewhere over here, down here at this big red candle that touched, right? I think. Anyway, we'll take a closer look. We'll go in for a closer look. So as you can see, we have 149, and you look at these candles, right? And this is not a straight waterfall. This is selling pressure, like short ladder attacks, and like accumulation, short ladder attack, accumulation, short ladder attack, accumulation, short ladder attack, etc. This is not like typically what you would see like when somebody dumps millions of shares into an 8K or a PR announcement. So that's the good news. The even better news is for anybody listening and watching and trying to get some perspective like I am, because you guys know more than I do about this stock. I'm just jumping on here to be a vehicle to have a conversation and talk. So you guys talk amongst yourselves in the chat. I'll jump in and answer any questions I can. But also look at what we have here. So let me get rid of some of this because this is kind of noisy as well. So I'll take some of this stuff from my trend lines from earlier today away. There's my position sitting at 3,000 shares at 79 cents. I didn't buy them all at once there. I bought them up here at 94. Then I had to buy again. Then I had to buy down here. And this is where I ended up 3,000 shares at 79 cents. Why did I hold when I saw all this happening? Because I knew what is happening right now is about to happen. So what market makers do is, if you guys don't know this, I'm sure you already know this, is they flush out when they need to identify and occupy or accumulate shares. When they need shares, when they need to cover, they do what? They go after dumb money stop losses, right? So that's what they've been doing all day with these flushes. They're clicking stop losses and they're beating retail and dumb money because a lot of people, most traders will jump in. They think they're going to day trade the stock or even swing trade it. They set tight stop losses, and these flushes are just that. They're just there. They're just to take away those shares. So let's get back to this quick point, and then I'll go over there and listen to you guys and take your questions and statements because, like I said, you know more about GNS than I do. So when you look at this recovery, you see how it came down here and it went all the way down here and it touched 65 cents, 0.6506. And that happened at 21:30, November 17th. So after hours, these are 15-minute candles. So 45 minutes into after hours. So whatever that is, you know what I mean? That's 1:45 p.m. It touched 65 cents. It's now recovering, and you got a couple of green bullish candles stair-stepping up. You got a red hammerhead, which means that this is most likely going to break through this trend line. It's making a move to break through this trend line from 1.49. Once we break that trend line, I think we're going to see some recovery. That's my opinion on it for now. Let's zoom in a little bit more, and we'll go from there. Let's see. So this is where we're at right now. We're at 71 cents, 0.71 from 65. Listen, if they were able to continue to flush it, and they are, market makers, especially, Citadel and Kenny, they're notorious for doing things like this, for doing 10-cent flushes after hours. So that's the reason why I picked up more shares after hours. As soon as the market closed, I saw the flushes happening. I've been through this so many times with so many stocks, especially stocks that Citadel's, involved in. And I just picked up more shares, and I strengthened my position. So right now I'm sitting at 8 times 3, $240 loss for the day. But this is, in my opinion, look, if you look at these candles, you look at what's happening here, you could say it's not exactly a bullish case until it breaks through this trend line. I'd like to see it break through 79, break through 88, and then we're off and running again. But yeah, this is totally manipulation in my opinion today. So if you're holding, get ready for another big move. obviously we want to see this thing just break through all of this, turn around and run up, and run up past 149 again. And it might happen after hours. It might happen in this session. So right now it's 3 o'clock. That's we're just inside 2 hours before overnight trading starts. So anything can happen right now, and that's why I wanted to jump on live. Let me go back on the chat. Hey, what's up? Hey, Bees. Hey, Moheen. IXL. No, for sure. I'm only interested in IXHL. I just jumped on here because, listen, IXHL isn't moving. It's at 0.35. So, from 0.33 to 0.35. We know IXHL ain't going nowhere until we get that FDA IND, investigational new drug, rheumatoid arthritis, phase 2 application for US just to commence phase 2. So until that happens, it's going to be stuck. Today was another red wedding. It's a brutal sell-off for the entire market. So of course it's at 33 cents. I jumped in on this because I want to support retail, man. I'm a retail investor, so I jumped in on this, and wait, cancel that. So Moheen says worth buying now. Not financial advice, never financial advice, but you see what this green candle is right here. It's coming down from that high of the pre-market, which is $1.49, and price and is trying to push through that trend line. And once it breaks that trend line, to answer your question, worth buying now, I would wait for the trend line to break and move. You're not going to see too much volume after hours, or you might just see some kind of explosion where they just capitulate and they stop flushing it and it lets go. But, if it depends on where you're at, Moheen, if you want to try to make a purchase in the after hours and you have a broker like Merrill or somebody who allows after hours, I would start DCAing. Yeah, sure. Why not? Start buying 100 shares, until 5 o'clock. Sure. If you haven't bought anything yet, it's a great place to be. I don't think they're going to slam it down and do it again tomorrow. I think this is just going to be a week full of recovery. Overall, the broad market is getting smashed, and most likely the reason for all of the the broad sell-off is because we're heading into a couple of different factors, and they are the government's back, so we're looking at economic data again. We're looking at NVIDIA, Home Depot, Lowe's, TJ Maxx earnings this week. We're looking at NVIDIA is set to report $52 billion in earnings on Wednesday. So typically what happens in these situations is, something that controls the entire narrative of the market like NVIDIA. What happens is we see these red days, along with all the other macro global economic conditions. You know what I mean? We're all watching the Fed. The Fed has new chairs now, and they're saying there's like a 49% chance now, less than 50% chance that they're going to do a rate cut for December unless Trump steps in and demands it. We have to see what kind of relationship Trump has with the new Fed people. So we're waiting on that. So the market's kind of just sniffing around the new Feds. It's sniffing around the housing is not looking very good right now. You have all these earnings this week that are gonna fly probably. I don't know. I think we're gonna see some recovery. But right now, if we really want to talk about like what's actually happening with this stock, and this stock, in my opinion, on its own, it's like it's its own animal. Like let's ask chat what he thinks. Hey, overall, what do you think is going on with the chart I have here on the screen? We're discussing it with my followers today, or people who decide to come on and watch or listen and ask questions. So, what do you think is happening with the sell-off in GNS? Is that related to the stock itself and the lawsuit with Citadel, or is that a global economic macro stressor that just is hitting overall stocks everywhere? Do you think that this is more spoofing, more synthetic shares and doubling down from Citadel and Virtue, or is this overall broad market sell-off? So that's my big question. I like to work with AI. AI is my homeboy. If you're not using AI, I feel bad for you. It's not right all the time, but it definitely helps. It helps you make quick decisions, and it gives you a bunch of things that you definitely wouldn't have thought of. So, since here's how I frame what's happening with Genius. What the chart itself is showing from the stream window, Genius is in a clear intraday downtrend, lower highs, lower lows, a descending trend line acting as persistent resistance. Volume tapered off after the morning push, suggesting momentum faded. You're sitting near a support band that looks around 70, 73. This is classic profit taking and fading liquidity behavior after a morning move. Nothing on the chart suggests a fundamental shift by itself. It's more likely traders stepping away. Is the sell-off stock specific? Some factors are specific to GNS. GNS sentiment is tied tightly to the lawsuit narrative. Whenever GNS spikes on litigation headlines, it brings in retail momentum. These moves often unwind when there's no new headline to sustain them. Short interest, manipulation narrative stocks often retrace fast. Think AMC, COSM, Mullen. Sharp pops, sharp fades. This makes Genius more sensitive to intraday liquidity drying up. Genius has a history of dilution events. Even if nothing is announced today, the fear of dilution keeps buyers cautious. So yes, stock-specific overhang absolutely contributes. And that's one of the things too. It's like I was like trying to tweet at Roger, the CEO today, and say, hey, like now would be a very smart time to make a quick 8K or something like that that says, there's no active ATM right now. If that's a really super bullish announcement, that could really send this thing. So that's what I would be looking from the company right now, is some sort of temporary announcement saying, hey, look, we paused the ATM for now. We're not going to do that. And that would reassure everyone, and certainly would reassure new investors, anybody that wants to invest in the stock, Okay, let's see what else. Whoop. I love these notes. Is IXHL clearly being accumulated? Absolutely, it's being accumulated. It's a clean cap table now at this point. We've been through it. IXHL, we've been there so long with that cap table. It's totally accumulated and coiled. And we saw what happened today. You got to keep in mind, like, look at this stock in comparison. This is Genius. Genius went from $1.49 today, where it's trading at right now, which is like 70 cents or something, right? Where's it at? 71 cents. IXHL on the same day, no lawsuits or anything, but IXHL on the same day went down 2 cents. It went down 2 cents. It's totally coiled. It's totally accumulated and waiting for the big move. We need that the FDA announcement. It's coming any moment now. When you least expect it, boom, the thing's going to go to dollars range. So if you haven't invested in IXHL, now's a great time, because we're at the floor. We've seen the floor. You look for the last 3 days of trading. If you want to buy IXHL, buy it now, because you'll see. Look at it. Look at the last 5 days on the charts. So map it out, right? You'll see there's a floor there. There's an obvious floor. It's not last 5 days. Last couple of weeks, there's a 35-cent floor. It's just it went up a little bit. Today, it really got smashed down. It went back down to that 34-cent level. Let's talk about Genius, though, and what's happening here. I jumped on because I thought it would break this trend line and make a move after hours, and that still might happen. As you can see, here we are, and these are the 15-minute candles. And yeah, it's trying to fight. It's fighting right now. It's fighting. Whoops, what did I just move? Oh, okay. I'm gonna put that back. Yeah, that's the low. It was like 65 cents was the low. That was the dip. That was where that wick was. Let me try to get that back, but I don't know. I kind of screwed that up. It don't matter. I'm not gonna sit here and tweak out on charts with you guys. But so that's where it is right now. Look at this. See? So let me zoom in here. I'm gonna show you something. You guys look close. So this is that day. This is the trend line for the day from 1.49 from the pre-market, and you see these 5-minute candles. Is this 15-minute? These are 15-minute candles, and you see what's happening right now. Price is trying to. It's still under the 9 EMA, and it's trying to bust through that trend line and over that 9 EMA. And once it does, it's going to make its move. Of course, there's not a lot of volume after hours. I'm not sure. Let's see how much volume this candle has. It's not showing me right now. But so anyway, let me get back to the stream. Okay, let's go back over a couple more things on. Hey, Kenny. Yeah. Let's see. Anybody, any other questions, you guys? Okay, so is this broader macro? There's also a real macro drag recently. Small caps are underperforming. Rate sensitive, low liquidity names are selling off. Risk appetite is lower across micro caps, which is kind of weird because tech is so overvalued. You'd think that people would just take some of that money and throw it into, stocks like IXHL or stocks like GNS, uh, not so much GNS. Listen, I'm all for retail, army and everything, but in terms of what this company does, it's not exactly too exciting or it's not like profitable, year over year. It's like a multi-million-dollar loss year over year in terms of profit. It's really, I jumped in to day trade it, be supportive and support the movement. The good news, some of the good identifiers about the stock, though, looking through it this morning, because I always look through it. I always look through the filings before I make even the day trade. And what I did see was that they did buy back warrants. Whenever you see a company that buys back warrants, that's always a good move. They do have some kind of massive shelf offering, right, with $100 million at the market available for them to use. But again, in a situation like this, if the company was strategic, they would be tweeting or making announcements saying, hey guys, we're going through this together. And they would be very supportive and they would say, we're not using the at the market right now. It's paused. We pause the at the market. That's the kind of announcement you want, but anyway, doesn't look like that's happening. So just run through these quick, and it looks like everyone's left. So then I'll just shut it down. But yeah, the lawsuit with Citadel makes GNS an emotional ticker. Market maker no, retail will chase it. That increased incentive to lean on the ticker when volume fades. So yes, some form of tactical pressure is likely. It's not necessarily coordinated with Citadel. The typical micro cap price discovery behavior when momentum dies. The overall sentiment. Right now, Genius is selling off mainly because momentum faded. You had that earlier pop. Traders took profit. And once volume dried up, the market makers walked it down. Macro small cap weakness adds pressure, and Genius has a retail-heavy, lawsuit-driven ticker. Is always more sensitive to liquidity in games. I don't think today's move is about the lawsuit itself. It's more a technical plus broader market risk off. So I mean, that's ChatGPT's opinion when I show it that chart. But like, I honestly think it's going to make another move back. It's going to break through this trend line, and we're going to see a recovery. Today was definitely, basically Citadel Kenny saying, I can't curse on live, but saying, F you to, it's just like someone said earlier on Twitter. It's like, yeah, he's just throwing a temper tantrum. Kenny, Citadel throwing a temper tantrum and doing the exact opposite instead of covering, he's doubling down and manipulating it more, spoofing more, shorting more, synthetic shares more and more and more and more. And listen, in a trader mindset, that makes sense because look at us. It's like I don't know if you've ever bought a stock at like $1 and it goes down to 90 cents and then you buy more and then it goes down to 80 cents and you average down again. It's the same thing. He's just doing it the other way. They're slamming it down. They're short ladder attacking it all day long, and this is what they do. This, especially Citadel. This is what Citadel does, and this is why you have to make an announcement as a company and say that you've paused the ATM. Or you have to make an announcement and you have to say that you are doing a buyback. If you don't do that, then Citadel, all these market makers, they are able to manipulate the narrative that dilution is active. If they can, if until you shut down that narrative, they can spoof, suppress, manipulate the synthetic. It's never going to stop. So the company needs to come out with a statement that says that we are currently not using the at the market. It is paused. If they come out with an announcement like that, tonight, tomorrow, to early in the morning, you're going to see this thing explode. But for now, they need to shut down the dilution narrative. If they want to play defense, this is like, it's like any sport. You got to play defense. If I'm the company, you have to let investors know, like, Okay, so you're a trending stock. You're all over Twitter. The only thing anyone's talking about is GNS, GNS, right? You got this lawsuit. You're taking on the evil Kenny, the most evil. I can't say bad words, but I have so much disdain for this person, and he's been doing this to us on every stock since COVID, man. And this guy wants to take him on. Great. But you also have to shut down the dilution narrative. You've got to come on here. You got to release an 8K, and you got to tell everyone no further dilution. The at the market is paused. No further dilution without notifying shareholders. You got to make some kind of bullish announcement like that. If you make that bullish announcement, everybody piles in. There's no more dilution narrative, and the market makers are forced to cover, or the first to at least locate shares. So. That's where we're at with it. Let's take a quicker. Anybody have any questions or somebody say something? I'm just talking, but I guess I like talking, or else I wouldn't be on here. But yeah. So like I said, if you're on here and you're listening, most of you know a lot more than I do about Genius and the fundamentals of the company. From what I understand, it's an AI learning company, AI education, etc. And then with a Bitcoin. Investment, right? Strategy. So, that in itself today, let's look at Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin at today? Alexa, what is Bitcoin at today? It's just a lot faster to just ask.
Bitcoin is currently priced at $91,810 as of 3:24 p.m. today. It's down 2.2% over the last 24 hours.
Guys, see, there you go, man. Okay, so there's two different things. So you have to if you're the CEO of this company, you're Roger. You have to release an 8K now that says at the market is paused. There's no dilution happening. You have to clear up that narrative. One, you have to do that. The second thing you have to do is acknowledge and make and provide some clarity on your Bitcoin investments and distribution, because if Bitcoin is now at $91,000. And your strategy is AI learning, AI education, and Bitcoin investment, then and Bitcoin is down, of course, that's down as well. So and like this is what they do, man. This is what these market makers do, and this especially Citadel. I've seen it since AMC, Game, FFIE, Mullen. They come in here and they slam down and they short ladder attack news. That's what they do. It could be, it's broad market news or anything remotely related, and the algos are smashing it down. So you've got to come in here as the CEO, and you've got to make that announcement. You got to say no at the market. At the market is paused, and you got to gain some clarity, and you got to be a little bit more vocal of a CEO. Otherwise, we're not stupid. They call us dumb money, but how stupid are we? You know what I mean? How do we know what they're really doing? You know what I mean? You have to let me know. You got to let me know. You got to say that no at the market is active right now. At the market's paused. You can't release all this news about a lawsuit, right? And have $100 million at the market with $1 billion shelf offering. You can't do that. You've got to tell your shareholders no at the market paused for sure. You know what I mean? And then while you release, this bullish announcement that you're taking on, like, the most evil person that has ever existed, the guy who is taking billions or trillions of dollars out of our pockets, since before COVID and before, you know what I mean? And now, and of course you guys know, all about like algos and, front running trades and stuff like that. Now they've got it down to such a crazy science that they know exactly what we're doing. They know when we're gonna average down. They front run our trades. They make money off of that. It's insane. Anyway, so I don't know if anybody has anything to say or has a question. I'd love to talk, but other than that, I don't know. I just wanted to jump on here and talk about that. I thought this was going to break the trend line. That's honestly why I jumped on here. I thought, if you can look at the chart, let me zoom in. I thought we were going to break it and run. Let's see. So this is where we're at right now. That's that trend line from the day. We haven't broken it all day long, all the way from pre-market, from 1.49. You see that trend line come down? And then here we are now, and it looks like it's getting stuffed under that. It's like somebody's listening to me. I wouldn't be surprised. No, that's crazy and paranoid. Price does not care what you paid for it. You know, who says that? Who can tell me who said that? Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett says that. Doesn't care. Nobody's out to get me. Nobody's out to get us. Well, maybe Kenny is. So this is where it's at right now. It looked for a second like it was about to just crush this 9 EMA and this trend line from pre-market, but it doesn't look like that's happening now. So with that, unless anybody has anything else to say, I'm going to shut it down. And thank you everyone for listening. Have a good day.